people say, well, didn't you want a t-shirt? I said, well, when there's a Harrier out there for 7 million Pepsi points, why not aim your sights a little higher?
Companies have a long history of using giveaways as a way to drum up attention for their products. You usually either have to buy their product or like, follow, subscribe, tag 18 of your closest friends, and share a photo to your Instagram story to be entered. But in 1996, Pepsi apparently wanted to step it up a notch. This is a bit of business. By 1996, Coke and Pepsi had been battling in the cola wars for the better part of the last century. It was a constant fight to win over the masses and be crowned the world's favorite cola. At the same time, the dot-com bubble was in full swing, the number of computers with full internet access grew from 1 million to 10 million, Amazon was only in their second year of business, and the Summer Olympic Games were being held in Atlanta, Georgia, which just so happened to be the location of Coca-Cola's headquarters. Unlucky for Pepsi, Coke decided to take full advantage of having the largest international sporting competition in their own backyard. As Coke billboards and banners littered the city, their logo overtook the subway stations, and the 12-acre Coca-Cola Olympic City theme park couldn't be overlooked unless you were able to overlook a 2-story tall Coke bottle. They ended up spending about half of their $1.3 billion advertising budget for 1996 just on promotions surrounding the Olympic Games, and that left Pepsi feeling a little bit left out. As Pepsi lost more and more market share to their cola competition, their fate pretty much rested on how well they could fight back. So they decided to make their own highly publicized marketing campaign that just so happened to launch shortly before the Summer Olympic Games. March 28, 1996 was the day Pepsi bottlers and executives introduced Pepsi Stuff. The premise was simple. You drink Pepsi and you get stuff. Billions of products from 12 packs to fountain cups were released with peel-off strips that represented a certain number of Pepsi points. If you bought enough Pepsi products, you could redeem your stockpile of points for a range of prizes like sunglasses, hats, leather jackets, and bikes. And let me just say that wearing your Pepsi sunglasses with your Pepsi hat and your Pepsi leather jacket while riding your Pepsi bike would get you some major street cred. Honestly, the idea was genius. It incentivizes people to buy more and more Pepsi, and even the money that they had to spend on the prizes was going towards creating millions of walking billboards. And it ended up turning into one of Pepsi's best marketing campaigns in history. Well, kind of. They surprisingly achieved what they set out to do, which was to outperform Coca-Cola's Olympics campaign. Probably because people just really like free stuff. And while Pepsi didn't necessarily give away free stuff, people's perception changes when they're getting cool prizes in return for buying a good tasting soda than when they're handing over straight cash. That is, unless you could hand over straight cash and get the prizes for significantly cheaper than you could ever buy them for. You see, in addition to getting points from buying Pepsi products, you could actually just buy them for 10 cents a point. And that's where things take a turn for the worse. Pepsi decided that they were going to make a TV commercial to show off some of the cool swag you could get from Pepsi points, like a leather jacket and sunglasses. However, in what was meant to be a comedic twist, the commercial shows a Pepsi fanatic showing up to school in his brand new Harrier Jet, which you too could supposedly attain for 7 million Pepsi points. At first glance, 7 million Pepsi points sounds like a lot, but it seems that the team that was put behind the commercial neglected to do the basic math to see if it would be enough. Most people saw the ad and probably laughed at the idea of getting a Harrier Jet from a Pepsi promotion. But 21-year-old college student John Leonard pulled out his calculator to find out that it would only cost $700,000 if he paid cash for the Pepsi points.
I did the quick math. I go, 7 million, 10 cents a piece, $700,000.
Which is a pretty steep discount from the $22 million price tag. So he decided to go for it and started making phone calls to find investors that shared in his ambitious pursuit to flip a Harrier Jet for millions in profits. The crazy part is he actually managed to raise $700,000 from 5 investors and shipped a check off to Pepsi on March 27, 1996. The 15-point minimum that Pepsi required to be from an actual product, a $10 shipping and handling fee, and the investor money for a check that totaled $700,008.50. And then he waited. Even if you think that Leonard's crazy, you really can't help but give him credit for actually raising $700,000. I'm sure you can probably assume that Pepsi didn't get the check and quickly shipped the Harrier Jet out of their fulfillment center. About a month and a half later, they tried to tell Leonard that the ad was meant as a spoof and the jet actually wasn't attainable through the Pepsi Stuff campaign because it wasn't featured in the product catalog.
Someone who's taking advantage of the legal system doesn't really typify the Pepsi generation.
I'm sure you can also assume that Leonard isn't the type of guy to accept that answer. Instead, he hired a team of lawyers and filed a lawsuit that accused Pepsi of breach of contract, fraud, deceptive and unfair trade practices, and misleading advertising. Honestly, I would just love to know what the conversations between Pepsi's legal team was as they geared up to fight a 21-year-old student over a Harrier Jet.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm!
What's the procedure, everyone?
And it gets even better, because most of what was said during the trial sounds like it should be from an episode of The Office. Like when Leonard stated that he's young, has an adventurous spirit, and the notion of obtaining a Harrier jet appealed to him enormously. Or when the judge actually briefly explained what humor was before stating that the callow youth featured in the commercial is a highly improbable pilot, one that could barely be trusted with the keys to his parents' car, much less the prize aircraft of the United States Marine Corps. Unlike when planning the commercial, it seems like some actual basic math came out during the court case where it was determined that one would have to drink roughly 190 Pepsis a day for the next 100 years to get to 7 million points if they didn't pay straight cash. The case slowly shuffled through the court system over the course of the next 3 years while the public slowly started rallying behind Leonard.
Maybe he is goofy, but I mean, they are making those claims, and if they can't back them up, they shouldn't be putting him on air.
It was really a simple case of everybody rooting for the little guy who's trying to beat over the billion-dollar corporation. And a lot of people saw it that way, but the courts didn't. They ended up deciding in favor of Pepsi for 3 main reasons. They deemed the commercial was an advertisement and not a clear offer by Pepsi. They thought that the attitude of the commercial wouldn't cause a reasonable person to conclude that a soft drink company would be giving away a fighter jet as part of a promotion.
Boom. Roasted.
And their third main reason was that nothing from Pepsi was put in writing about winning the jet, including not being featured in the product catalog. So John Leonard's plan didn't work, and I'm not really sure that he expected it to if it made it all the way to the end of the case. They were probably hoping Pepsi would pay them off outside of the court to drop the lawsuit and rid them of any potential liability. That would let Leonard return the money to his investors, and then they could divvy up whatever Pepsi paid them to drop the suit. Had they decided in favor of Leonard, there's really no telling what he would have walked away with. Even if he'd managed to win the lawsuit and get the plane, it would have been stripped of all of its weaponry and wouldn't actually be able to fly. But then again, would having a Harrier jet as a decoration be such a bad thing? As for Pepsi, they promptly changed the jet's cost in the satire commercial from 7 million Pepsi points to 700 million. Let me know, do you think he should have gotten the jet? Hey, thank you for watching this video all the way through. I'd appreciate it if you took a second to leave a like and check to see if either of these look interesting to you. I'll see you all in the next one, and remember, spread some smiles.